welcome to the Legit Football NFL podcast. Brian McFadden here, co-founder of Legit Football. It's Friday, I'm so excited it's the wrong day. It's Monday, April 24th, 2023. We are live on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. It is draft week, ladies and gentlemen. It's finally here. Let's go ahead and bring in my partner in crime, Kevin Phillip Fox. Kevin, we did a mock draft a little over a week ago, the most popular episode to date, so we decided to run it back 2.0, but we want to amp up the craziness, right?
Dude, there's no other way. I mean, you have a 1.0, the only way to improve it is to ramp up the craziness. That's what it's all about. It's the NFL draft. Chaos is what sells. We're in there like swimwear.
In there like swimwear. I love these expressions.
Yeah,
Never heard them before. Gotta hand it to a man with three names for originality. So here's what we did. 2.0, we're still going to do it live, just like we did last time. But we're going to add a third person. Let's bring in Jimmy Ray from NFL Stats. He's got his war room behind him. I see the draft board. If we peek close enough, maybe we get a sense of what his priorities are.
I'll hide it. I'm trying to hide it now. It's not really working.
Your hands just disappear when you do that.
You can look if you want. It's probably from like 10 years ago.
So we got 3 people. There are 31 picks. Some teams don't have first round picks. Came down to 27. Jimmy was kind enough to do the math for us. So that means each of us represents 9 teams. We've already have the teams decided, but that still wasn't enough. Let's add another element of chaos. Let's allow trades. Gentlemen, are you ready for this?
I'm so ready, man. And you guys know I'm ready because I blew up both your phones with trade offers within 5 minutes of us allowing the trades. It's possible that me and Jimmy Ray may or may not have had some huge beef, and I may or may not have blocked his number.
A lot happened there. He told me to lose his number. I still have it, just in case.
It got real personal. It got real personal. I
So,
would like to on air apologize to Jimmy Ray for my behavior in the chat.
Honestly, you're gonna have to earn it back. So let's make a trade right now, and we can figure it out. Give me some leeway for the next one.
So a couple things, as you guys can see, trades have already been discussed, some already agreed upon, but we will also be doing trades live during the draft. Depends on how things fall. We've got our producer, Anthony Weiner, who is going to have a 3-minute timer up for each pick. He is going to serve as like a moderator because the 3 of us will be texting each other, making negotiations in real time. Any trade that's been finalized will go to Anthony. He will make the announcement. He's got a bunch of sound effects prepared. This thing is going to go 2 hours, so what do you say we go ahead and get this thing started, guys? Are you guys primed? Are you ready for Mock Draft 2.0?
Primed, ready, Mock Draft
We have
2.0.
to beat the NFL Draft in ratings. We got to make it that good.
No problem. I would like to throw this out there. If it were up to me, I've mentioned this in the TikTok Live. I am the Adam Schefter of Legit Football. There was a huge part of me that wanted to leak these details. I was trying to leak offers. I was trying to leak, I was
dirty.
trying to. It ended up, I played clean, and I said that. I was like, I hope they learned about a little something about me.
To be fair, it sounds like you'd be the one leaking it to Adam Schefter, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe...
Well, no,
yeah.
Leaking it to yourself?
I would leak it to myself, and then I would leak it.
I see it. I see.
Little self-gratification.
It would be a very, very roundabout way of just.
So you're the GM of 10 teams. There's a lot of conflict of interest there.
That's what I'm saying. It got a little crazy with that, but we're in there like swimwear, as I said.
So one important distinction, I mean, some of these will be predictive by its nature just because of everything we've consumed when it comes to the NFL, but we are the GMs here. We make the decisions based on what we want to do. Let's not beat around the bush anymore. We've got people waiting. Let's go ahead and jump in. Anthony, you're going to be running the draft. Let's get 2.0 Legit Football mock draft going here.
There's already a trade.
Oh, there we go.
No.
I'm DeAndre Hopkins to the Bills for a 2023 third and a 2024 third.
You have to say
right.
what team. Well, I guess Hopkins is with the Cardinals. So yes, the Cardinals, who I represent, and the Buffalo Bills, who surprise, surprise, Kevin represents. DeAndre Hopkins. We get to unload that contract. We get 2 thirds, one this year, one next year, and Kevin gets his end zone target.
I got my
DeAndre Hopkins.
coveted wide receiver prize and I am picking at 27. I haven't traded that yet. That anybody knows.
Anthony, get the trade terms going on. You got on the bottom.
And also, it's important to note that may or may not reflect in my draft philosophy and how I draft, knowing that I already have DeAndre Hopkins in a built team.
Listen,
So
you
for-
guys are
for
stealing
those
the
just-
show.
For those just joining,
already.
DeAndre Hopkins is a Buffalo Bill, not in real life. This is our mock draft. Why people think we're breaking news.
Right.
All right. Now, Anthony, let's go ahead and kick off the first overall pick in the Legit Football Podcast Mock Draft 2.0.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love
The
that.
Carolina
just stole-
Panthers are now on the clock.
Nice.
You guys
Thank
just
you,
stole my whole show right there. You stole the spotlight for me before the first pick, DeAndre Hopkins.
That
got
was
traded.
that,
That was the plan.
purposeful.
Insane.
That
Yep.
was the plan.
That's what we were doing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know what? I respect it because there's no surprise with this pick. I can wait for trade offers or I can make the pick, but I'm just gonna.
I
Well,
got
this is-
nothing for you.
This is a pick that was already traded. The Panthers
Yeah,
gave a
absolutely.
haul to Chicago to move up. So phones aren't ringing for that number one pick.
Yeah. So we traded up. We still traded some draft picks away. Traded away DJ Moore. We're going with QB Bryce Young. The favorite in this draft. I mean, he's a playmaker. He's a smart guy. He's the smartest quarterback in the draft. The only thing holding him down is his measurements, obviously, but we don't see that as an issue with him. And we feel
Literally
like we
holding
can
him
build-
down.
Yeah, holding him down. Absolutely. Thanks for that, Kevin. Yeah, but
Did he actually make the pick? Anthony already put it on there. Did
Yeah,
you
I
say-
did. Yeah.
You did
Oh,
say
yeah, I
that?
think he did.
Bryce
I
Young?
think he-
Yeah,
I
Bryce
didn't hear
Young.
him say
We
that.
are
Okay.
locked
Yep.
in.
Absolutely. So
We
that's
can't
number one
let the
pick, and-
people think this is rigged, right? This is genuinely live. We're
Anthony, can I
Probably
ask
all
you
of
for a
this.
favor, bro? If there's any more trades, can you also do the little noise for the trade?
he is. That's what
Oh,
the
okay,
first
good.
noise was. We
I
got
just
a
need
trade. We have a trade sound.
The trade sound. I need.
We
the
have a trade sound
If
separate
there's
from
any
the
more
on the
trades.
clock sound.
Got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Moderator. There you go.
The Houston Texans are now on the clock.
I actually think there aren't, Anthony. Maybe you didn't check your texts.
What?
Uh-oh.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, they are not.
There's the trade sound.
Uh-oh.
The Las Vegas Raiders is
Oh!
trading for the number 2 pick and a 5th rounder for the number 7 pick, a 2023 first, a 2024 second, and Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, 2024 first there was the second one. Yeah. So
Ooh,
I got
Renfro
7.
went to the Raiders.
Yeah, I got
Or went
to the Texans.
to the Texans. Yeah.
I got 7 next year's first, next year's second, and Renfro for 2 and a 5th.
Yep, and I got the
Raiders.
number 2
Cheers.
overall pick.
How do we feel? How do we feel about that trade?
Interesting.
I feel pretty good.
This is what. Yeah, the Raiders.
Me too.
Zegler feels good. I don't. Interesting. I'm looking at the 2023 first, 2024 Hunter Renfro. I like Renfro going there. They need a wide receiver. That's a big need for Houston.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot that the Texans are not enamored with the quarterbacks after Bryce Young.
We decided that
Move back to number 7 though. So there's a lot of flexibility. You're only moving
Yeah.
back 5 spots.
Yep.
Hey, if the Raiders get their guy at quarterback, which I'm assuming is what this trade up is for, then yeah, it works for both sides. Let's who's on? The Raiders are on the clock. Let's go. Set the timer, Anthony.
I didn't trade for Jalen Carter. I didn't trade up for Jalen Carter. I didn't trade up for Will Anderson. I traded up for a quarterback. Now I do have some quarterbacks left on the board. CJ Stroud, Will Levis, but I'm gonna have to go with Anthony Richardson with the 2nd overall pick here.
Ooh, Richardson to the Raiders.
I just
number
absolutely,
2.
absolutely love Anthony Richardson's athletic ability. I feel like him matched with Josh McDaniels, our head coach. I'm Dave Ziegler, obviously as the GM. I'm excited to have him in there. Josh McDaniels gets his guy after signing Jimmy G this offseason. If you sign Jimmy G, you're expected to get a rookie quarterback, right? And hopefully someone takes over for him eventually. That's the way it works. But I'm excited to have Anthony Richardson as my number 2. The picks that I traded away, Hunter Renfro, doesn't matter to me right now because if the quarterback works out, it'll all pay out at the end. So
Exactly. That was a good trade for you guys. I feel great about that trade for myself. Moving back 5 spots for my beloved
Absolutely.
Texans. Getting a first, a second, and a potential Pro Bowl level wide receiver for my hopeful rookie quarterback. Given how the rest of the draft will shake out for me. But we'll talk about it as it unfolds. So great pick, Jimmy. I will admit, I'll confess this now. I did try to move out of 2 with the Colts, and me and Chris Ballard
wow.
had beef.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna leak that now. There was some very hostile talk.
AFC South interdivision.
Yeah, it felt
That's
it
what
felt
kind of
weird
ended
as
up
a whole.
happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I wasn't too worried about it myself, but Ballard had some issues, so him and I are no longer on speaking terms.
But as a whole, maximizing Anthony Richardson is kind of what I take over CJ Stroud's. CJ Stroud's a great quarterback, but I just wanted that maximize. I wanted the unique talent at number 2 with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 trades, one pre-draft, one at the draft.
Okay, McFadden, check your texts before you make this pick, okay?
Whoa.
Okay,
all right.
Well, yes.
So
the Arizona Cardinals are very interested, and there have been discussions, but no offers have been good enough to move out of the pick yet. Yeah. I've got 3 minutes.
So I'll start some buffering. I mean, Cardinals are on the clock right now. They have the chance at Jalen Carter. They have some great edge work with Will Anderson. We have Tyree Wilson available. But obviously, quarterback is the prime spot to position to be drafting with a top pick. And if you're wanting to jump to Indianapolis Colts at number 4, this would be the way to do it. So if who knows who's
the spot?
I don't know what's happening right now, and I'm kind of nervous as the Colts GM myself. But
I'd be
love
happy
the
to
silence
report.
here. The silence.
I was going to say I'd be happy to report that this trade is earth-shattering, groundbreaking, and we'll have to see how McFadden feels. He has 2 minutes to review, 2 minutes to decide whether or not he wants to pull trigger. But
negotiations are ongoing. This is I will say this for those that are just listening to the podcast. This is an episode you really need to watch the YouTube because there's going to be moments of just pure silence.
Can I reply to your text out loud or no?
No. Let's keep it confidential.
Keeping it private.
Keep it
You're
out.
welcome to comment afterwards. We got a minute 30. I got a pick ready if I don't get the offer that I like.
Well. Yeah, so Will Anderson, edge out of Alabama. Will he go? Is he trading up for CJ Stroud? Is he trading up for Will Levis? I mean, Will Levis, he's kind of the favorite to go number 2 right now with the Texans, maybe. So that's fairly interesting with with the draft and stuff, things go back and forth. I'm just ready for it to happen. So,
all right. So the Cardinals are going to make the pick. We've gotten some
Cardinals
offers.
Are going to make the pick.
We got multiple offers here. But I know how valuable this is, and if I'm Monty Osfort, first-time GM, Jonathan Gannon, first-time head coach, if I don't get an offer that's worth moving off the spot, I'm going to get one of the few blue-chip defensive players in this draft. I am going to go ahead and go with the safest pick. I want a guy, a great locker room guy that I can build off of. May not have the highest ceiling as some of these other edge rushers, but he's a guy who probably has the highest floor and is a plug-and-play guy. Let's go Will Anderson, edge out of Alabama at number 3 overall for the Houston Texans.
Can I leak the deal?
You may leak it. Let's see what the chat says.
So, as the Texans, I wanted to come back up. I wanted to leapfrog the Colts because I got Renfro, and I got a first next year and a second next year. So I was feeling real spicy. I was feeling real good about my packages, my compensation. So I offered McFadden 7, a third this year, and the Raiders 2nd next year.
Oh wow!
For 3, and it was declined. And
that wasn't rich enough.
He asked me for the 1 next year, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't part ways with a 1.
That's fair.
Because I'm trying to accrue picks. I'm not trying to burn them to the ground. I did want to move up, but not that badly.
Yeah, I'm kind of on Brian's side there. I feel like I need a 1 if I'm going back. You said 5 spots, right? Or 4 spots, I guess. Yeah.
4 spots. But then at that point, the top of the draft defensive players are out. So I either need a lot of value or I'm going to get a guy that I know I can build my defense around. So that's why I decided to keep the pick. Will Anderson is at number 3.
I can live with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock.
Listen, if I'm Chris Ballard, I'm shutting my phone off here. CJ Stroud falling to number 4, I feel like is huge. I mean, Ohio State quarterback, he played with a lot of weapons, but he also, I mean, he's a great talent. People always say, I mean, he's got the arm, he's got the athletic ability. He's just as people have said, he's a robotic in the pocket. I feel like he makes the same mechanisms every time he throws. He knows how to make those throws when necessary. His accuracy is off the charts as well. I'm just excited to be able to pick a quarterback for the future with the Indianapolis Colts. It's not as surefire as Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning in the past, but I feel like it's definitely as surefire as it's been over the past 5 years. So get the veteran
you feel
quarterbacks.
Good about Stroud over Levis there?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Will Levis has the arm and stuff, but his accuracy is kind of lacking in some ways, but he could end up good. But
I like the pick. I think it's a good pick.
Now,
by the way, I should mention. Okay, go ahead, because I'm going to.
I will say we talked about it a little bit earlier, but if there was no quarterback, if Will Levis was available, I was kind of considering maybe trading for a former number 3 overall pick with the 49ers. So I was just thinking if that was a possibility. I wasn't sure what I was going to do.
Thought about that
but
too.
CJ Stroud kind of dropped there, but it would be interesting if the Colts traded for Trey Lance and then got to keep the number 4 overall pick and maybe the second this year and made some power moves. So that would be interesting as well. But I like CJ Stroud.
Since we're past the Arizona pick, I want to mention that I did receive an offer from Jason Light stand-in Kevin Phillip Fox representing the Bucs at 19, who made an okay offer, but it was much less than what the Niners paid to move up 12 to 3 to get Lance a few years ago. So I said no.
They ruined it for everyone.
Multiple offers for that number 3 pick, none of them good enough. So we got the Cardinals taking Will Anderson, CJ Stroud, the new quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts.
Love that.
Sir,
I think that's great for the Colts. I hope that's what happens.
The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock.
I would like to say that my phone is on, and I'm staring at it until there's 1 second left on the clock. If anybody wants to send any offers, I'm interested in moving out of this pick, but not desperately, because there's a couple names I really like.
I will say
the Seahawks have been tied to Richardson, in case you guys haven't heard. But from 5, that might be a tall task. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if Richardson will be there at 5. So
who?
Richardson. He's been tied to the Seahawks at 5, I've heard.
Oh, I'm saying he's off the board. That's why I was surprised.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm saying in IRL, if he's there,
yeah.
that's might be a slam dunk. But that being said, boys, anybody interested? Any GMs of any teams? Are we zooming through this?
Yeah. So thinking out loud, there's the way this draft sets up. It's if you got Richardson, I could see a team trading up for him at this spot because of the ceiling. Yeah. Young, we already know that they traded up for, but there's not after that. I mean, who are you going to trade up for? I don't think anybody's trading up for Jalen Carter here. They either they hope he'll fall or they're not sold on his character. Levis, I don't know. Once again, I think you don't think the Seahawks are going to take Levis, so you probably want to. I just don't know that any. That's why nobody's really offering you.
I think
we're going to see that as a.
I think I'm ready to make my pick, and I like a lot of names, especially you said defense. At this point, this is when the top-end defensive talent flies off the board. Today's NFL is about passing and stopping the pass, and I want somebody who's going to make life hell for opposing quarterbacks. I'm going to draft Tyree Wilson, and I'm going to sleep good at night tonight for the Seahawks.
As you should.
Did consider him at number 3 for Arizona. I've been seeing buzz about Wilson over Anderson, and a good description, I don't remember where I read this today, is that Wilson is a potential home run or a potential strikeout. Will Anderson is a guaranteed double. Like if you just want a double, if you want to get a guy in second base, so I think Arizona with all they need to do, it was a more safe pick to go Anderson.
It's a very Walker or Hutchinson-esque debate.
Yes, it's actually very similar to that.
I feel good about the upside, and I feel good about the defense that we're going to be building around Wilson. With how much work we've put in on our defense and free agency.
Yeah. I mean, Tariq Woolen too, and Kobe Bryant, and all sorts of good defensive young talent, and having Tyree Wilson will help them as well as the offense and the whole team. So that's a great pick.
We feel good about Tyree Wilson.
So as you can see, Jalen Carter falling a little bit just because of all of the off the field issues and kind of questioning that they'll be. So that he was obviously an option there, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
I just realized I completely forgot to do this for the Cardinals at 3. So Cardinals
fans
out there, I'm sorry. I have one of these for every single team that I represent. Completely forgot.
Oh, that's so cool.
In my generic draft room over here.
Hey, I'm in my studio. It's all good.
All right, so Jalen Carter is a consideration here. If you can get a stud defensive interior to go with the success they had from James Houston and Aiden Hutchinson, that's a consideration. And you can say Dan Campbell's got a great locker room, but I don't think he's going to buy in to us as a team, right? So I know that we just got rid of Jeff Okudah. Not that it would have been a starter. We got some pieces added in free agency, but I still want a stud defensive back. As good as our offense was, we were one of the worst pass secondaries in the NFL last year. I'm looking at a guy now who I think screams Lions Dan Campbell, and that is Devin Witherspoon, physical corner out of Illinois. I know a lot of people like Christian Gonzalez, the athletics, the size, but I just think as far as play style, Witherspoon is tough. He's gritty. He loves to go up and make hits. He fits what we're looking to do in Detroit. So as Brad Holmes, I am going to choose cornerback Devin Witherspoon, number 6 overall for the Detroit Lions.
I love that pick. Congrats, Anthony. That's a good pick for your boys. He's like you said, he's a culture guy. It's always good to have one of the top 3 corners in a draft. You know, that's a spot where blue chips matter. So that's huge. And that's the first name off the board for that position. So, you know, you got something special, hopefully.
He allowed 3.3 yards per target last year. Just that's
some NFL stats right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Suggestion, Anthony, you should put the teams that are making the picks in the ticker because some of them have moved. So we want to make sure
That's
that
true.
they know.
So people don't think
new.
that the Texans
Richardson
took Richardson at 2. Yeah.
Well, fellas, it's that time. The chickens have come home to roost, and we have a little bit different of a slate here than we had at 2. And I'll tell you what, to be completely honest with you, I look at myself as I played a little bit of draft roulette, and I would say that I didn't exactly win, but I didn't exactly lose. Because at 7 here, you know, we would have loved Richardson at 2. If we would have gotten back up to 3, we would have taken Stroud. It's totally okay. We don't panic at all. We have D'Amico Ryans. He's establishing an entirely new organizational philosophy, and where better to start a culture change than at the quarterback position. And we are very happy with this because even though he was the 4th name on our board, he is the 1st name in our hearts. And we are drafting Will Levis to be the quarterback of the future of the Houston Texans. And at 7, given that we got a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, and a Pro Bowl wide receiver, we're very content.
You get your quarterback and you pick up assets. Brilliant move by Nick Caserio, a.k.a. Kevin Phillip Fox.
I appreciate that. We feel good about it.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel like if the Texans trade back, I feel like they might not be enamored with any of the quarterbacks. So they might not take any, but they might pick like Jalen Carter, defensive player here. But I don't blame you. I feel like this is also up there.
Getting back to 7 though is like not crazy, you know. Like Levis is still in that. There, I would say most people would agree that there's a tier break after those first 4 quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
It goes those 4, and then you have like your hookers and your Hainers, and your next batch of
Anytime you say like hookers, it's just
right
out of context.
Yeah, that was a little wild, but yeah, you have your next. But you know what? People are thinking Levis could go 2. People are thinking Levis could go 4. So to think that we get him at 7 and we accrue the assets that we've accrued, given the organizational position that we're in and the already massive tide change we've seen in our, personnel, we are ecstatic.
Absolutely. I also wouldn't be surprised.
We would have loved Richardson or Stroud. That's why we tried to get back up to 3. But we will. I will say this again: we will sleep good at night tonight, knowing that we have our quarterback.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Brian's head versus Brian's heart.
Well, there we go.
There we go,
man. Look at you.
Atlanta Falcons.
Brian's head versus Brian's heart. Pick it.
I had a guy in mind here, or a couple guys that I didn't think would fall, and was planning on putting this pick on the block if I didn't get one of those. But the fact that one of the 2 blue chip defensive backs is still on the board here for the Falcons at 8. I know we just traded for Jeff Okudah, but we got him for pennies when he has yet to really display. But I'm not going to beat around the bush, guys. At the Atlanta Falcons, we're going to draft cornerback Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon here
I love
to go
that.
opposite AJ Terrell. I would have loved if Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson fell. Sure, we still got Grady Jarrett in the middle. So Jalen Carter, not really ready to kind of do that thing. There's been some questions about his work ethic. But having we got Jesse Bates in the safety now. It's like, let's get another corner out there. Jeff Okudah doesn't have to be a day one starter. He can take some more time to develop. I'm smashing this card. I'm putting the draft card in and happily drafting the second best cornerback in the this draft.
Love that.
Yeah, cornerback's a deep position. I think the Falcons have a decent amount of needs. I know they've been kind of linked to a lot of different people, like Bijan Robinson. I mean, maybe even a quarterback, but obviously other quarterbacks are gone.
Let's talk about Bijan quickly.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if he goes at 8 to the Falcons on Thursday night. I think that's a bad pick. Bijan, we've mentioned before in the show, he needs to go to a team that's there, that he's icing on the cake. As much as I've liked the Falcons all season, they still have a long way to go. They've got too many other pieces to draft a running back at 8 when they had a 1,000-yard rookie rusher last year. It doesn't move the needle enough as a team. Even as Bijan is light years better than Tyler Algier, but it doesn't at that position. It's just not valuable enough. I'd rather get a stud defensive back to try to slow down these passing offenses in 2023 in the NFL and give my offense a chance to win games and possibly win the NFC South. So
yeah,
that's why if I'm the GM in this case, if I'm taking over for Fontenot, I'm drafting Gonzalez or a defensive player here, or if all of those guys are off, I'm trading back. I'm not going to draft Bijan at 8 if I'm the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, with the running back lifespan, I think if you're a couple years away, like the Atlanta Falcons might be, I mean, we know how quick some teams can turn it around, but I completely understand that. I feel like a team that's in contention now, which definitely there are some teams that like having a team player like that, a playmaker like that for five years. I mean, absolutely. So yeah.
I think it's a fantastic pick. Yeah, I love the Bijan to Atlanta.
This is a great setup for the Bears here at 9 with the players that
are
still on the board.
I'm feeling darn good. I'm feeling darn good. My thought process here is that I really like. I think I really want to go tackle. I think I really want to go offensive tackle. I don't want to trade out of this pick. I already traded down from 1. I'm still in the top 10. I can still get a blue chip prospect. I understand that Jalen Carter is still there, and I understand how good he is, but we believe, we listen to this podcast in the Bears War Room called Legit Football, and one thing that they talk about a lot on Legit Football is isolating the variable, and we're trying to do that as much as we can with Justin Fields. And given that not a single offensive lineman has gone off the board yet, we're going to have our pick of the litter. We're really between 2 names, and it's kind of a flip of a coin. But I think I can confidently say the Chicago Bears have decided to draft Peter Skoronski at 9, and we're very happy about it.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. That's one of those picks that's like, if that doesn't happen, that'd be very surprising, especially if they don't go that position, at least. Right. Depending on who they're enamored with. But, I mean, I think that's
Carter is nuts amazing to be sitting there as well, for the record.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on him to be. I mean, at some point, you just have to take him regardless of your position needs. So we'll see what happens.
He's a stud, but yeah, it's getting real fuzzy for him in the draft room. It's getting real awkward.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, here we go. This is Brian's moment. He's been waiting his whole life for this.
Yeah, Jalen Carter going to the draft. Do we know that?
This man. Oh, I actually don't know if he is or not. Brian's phone is off, and the bubble is.
My phone is not off.
No, I'm saying for this pick though.
Did you not check your phone?
Oh no, I didn't.
This pick is on the block, my friends.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Wow, color me shocked. He's been building to this moment this whole time just as a ruse, so that we thought, okay, wow, ladies and gentlemen,
I have a plan. Don't pretend to know my plan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
here we go.
We should have some hold
Brian.
Music for this when we're doing that. Do
you
have any hold music, Anthony?
You're getting a text right now.
All right, 2 minutes left waiting for the... There you go.
Ooh. Is he playing that live? He's just serenading us?
That's pretty cool. Watching people's heads, everybody's thinking right now.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Negotiations ongoing.
So I will.
Jimmy, are you
I'll
sending
say-
anything, or is this just me?
I'm gonna. I mean, I got my phone out. You know, I'm not gonna say anything. I might.
Yeah, he's not going to reveal anything.
Oh, I
You
needed
know?
a reveal.
There might be some
I don't
competition
want to
going on.
I
There
don't
might
want to
not
bet
be.
against. I don't want to negotiate against myself.
Yeah, well, I'll have my phone here just in case. I'll look down every now and then just to see. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Got a minute.
Yeah, but I will say, I mean, this is a lot like if you play Dynasty football. I mean, this feels very similar in terms of
Right.
trying to find your need. Obviously, there's 32 positions, but if you play all PFF, you know what I'm talking
Okay.
about. All 22 all
Terms have
23.
been agreed upon.
Whoa!
Ooh, the beat
Changes-
switched when he said that. That was sick.
I mean, I think Anthony produces music too, so I'm not surprised.
Oh no, he's a dog.
He's a dog.
He is a dog.
I would draft Anthony if I
Are
was.
you
at
are you
this
sending
pick.
this one to the commish, Brian? Or am
Yes, I am. Yep.
All right.
Wow, I can't believe you didn't go with my offer, Brian. That's crazy.
Oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I didn't think I was gonna get it. Now I have to figure this out.
Trade. There we go.
I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna
Love
need.
that.
I want Armand as my co-GM. I need help. This is hard.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it from the moderator. I love how it's flashing. Look at the timer.
That's beautiful. With the exclamation mark and the chill music still playing. It's
All right, let's
beautiful.
see. Let's see what's going on. I'm ready for this.
There's been a
And-
trade. The Texans give 12th overall, 5th, and 2024 second for the number 10 pick.
Yes,
Smash
we
it.
did. Yes, we did, and we did it for a couple reasons. But the primary reason, originally, there was one name that I was really enamored with. But can I talk through my logic here, Brian, or no?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
absolutely.
Okay. So one of the things I'm thinking is I really would love to pair Will Levis with Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's kind of like my dream at 10. But there's still a top edge defender named Nolan Smith who's staring me in the face at 10.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of thinking that Houston would really benefit from
Whoa.
another piece on defense. So I did get Hunter Renfrow. So the need for a receiver is less than it was before, but I don't think he moves the needle enough to make the JSN pick redundant. So I'm thinking, I'm still leaning JSN probably 51-49.
Put the timer,
but
Anthony. He's on the clock. Put the timer.
if anybody has any suggestions or if anybody's swinging one way or the other.
So I love it. He makes a trade, gives away some assets, and doesn't have a player ready to take.
I
just
was
put
just going to
jumping.
smash. I was going to smash JSN, but Nolan Smith is
I-
there.
I actually, the reason I put this on the block is because I thought a team would trade up for Jalen Carter, falling all the way to 10.
Yeah.
So I'm
I see
surprised that wasn't the pick.
I
So,
see that.
Yeah,
I see-
Armand
and
says take Jalen Carter. That is
You know
exactly
what?
why I put him on.
I think after acquiring Hunter Renfrow, you know, I was going to be the kind of GM that took him off their draft board, but it's 10. We're at pick number 10 now. The pick is so valuable, but not as valuable as a top 5 pick. And he is Jalen Carter. So you know what? I'm still like, does anybody have Jimmy? You got any objections, man? JSN, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter.
It's your
you're
team,
me.
man. It's
Oh,
your
no, I'm
team.
I know, but this
You're
is
asking the competition if he has any objections to you.
Listen,
He's like,
Listen,
take a
I'm-
punter. Take a punter.
Listen, I'm your co-host still, so I'm not too worried
Yeah,
about it.
thank you.
When I was texting Brian, I was like, listen, I have the Titans, Patriots, Steelers, Ravens, Giants, Bengals. I don't think there was anybody. If I would have traded up though, it would have been for Jalen Carter. That was my mindset here. I think the value there is too
Let's do it.
unbeatable. And
Yeah,
I mean,
appreciate
absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
There's
and I
enough-
think
there's enough voices
Yeah.
that are saying the same thing.
honestly, and I have the Titans next. I don't think they necessarily need an edge rusher, but I probably would have taken Jalen Carter if he was at 11, just because.
Yeah,
Because
and
he's
I'm
the
not
best
at all.
available. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not at all mad at the assets
Yeah.
I gave up to secure a blue chip prospect. You know, a second and a fifth, and and 12. I mean, I
Yeah.
can live with that. So yeah, let's run Jalen Carter. And I appreciate you guys for calming me down. I did not expect to get that pick. I'm
just
stoked.
take JSN. I was just kidding. by the
Texans
I
way.
love it. He didn't have a
wheeling and
plan.
dealing.
He's like, let me throw an offer out there, and I got it. What do I do now?
That's what I actually. That's kind of how I live, honestly. So
Hey,
you guys got
the-
to witness
didn't know.
that insanity.
Nothing
in real
says
time.
successful NFL GM like a fly by the seat of your pants
Yeah.
philosophy.
Exactly, literally.
Thanks, Armand. Armand likes my move there. Stacked
Let's
up an
see
extra
here.
pick this year and a second next year. Yeah. Just call me B-Mac Howie.
Fantastic
Jalen
trade.
Carter's picked. I'm going through kind of who's available right now. And I mean, we know the Titans lost Taylor Lewan. I think that's a pretty big loss there. He's had some struggles. He kind of ended slightly poorly from much like his all-pro talent that he did have. But the Titans, I mean, I was going through kind of what they could do, and I think quarterback's kind of on their list. But at this point, I don't necessarily see them moving up for a guy. So I think picking an offensive lineman here is huge, especially with Paris Johnson still available. I think that's a big surprise, especially with all the top offensive linemen that could go in the top 10. So I'm going with Paris Johnson Jr. here from Ohio State. I think he's a great add-on to the talent that the Titans have. And I think
Love
if the
that
Titans do go,
They need offensive line help.
Yeah,
They need
absolutely.
badly. Yeah.
And listen, the Titans, they're in a weird situation right now where they could start a rebuild. They haven't done anything like that necessarily yet. Derrick Henry could be shopped. Ryan Tannehill. Malik Willis is still there. Don't forget about him, but it sounds like he might not be the future.
Did Rand Carthon call Nick Caserio at all about number 2? You mentioned Ballard did, and that didn't go well. I'm just curious
so he did not. No, so Ballard didn't. And I was when he texted me.
Ballard didn't. Oh, Nick was trying to talk to Ballard. I see.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Ballard didn't. Yeah, so when he texted me, I think the Titans were the team he was thinking about. But I was like, I want the Raiders to move up. I don't think the Titans are necessarily ready to make that. I mean, that's a lot bigger of a move from 11 to 2. I mean, I know it's only 4 picks, but in a prime position like this, I think it's kind of huge. But yeah, I wasn't ready to make that move. I think the Titans are kind of rolling with Tannehill and everybody else for one more year, and we'll see what they think in the 2024 draft. See what kind of people are available then.
Beautiful.
I still get my guy. Look at this.
He's an evil
I'm not
genius.
going to wait. I picked up extra draft picks and still get Bijan Robinson at 12. It just further justifies getting a running back this early. Every pick that you go down further reduces the salary cap implications. And there's a lot of questions about drafting a running back early because the market value is not very high for running backs. But I just got him at number 12. I'm a team who's ready to compete. I added a 5th this year and a 2nd next year, and I still get to draft the guy I wanted anyway. Let's put Bijan Robinson in with Jalen Hurts. That Eagles offense, he's going to rush for 3,000 yards. Lock it up.
I love it. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I wanted you to get your guy, and
I told you I had a plan.
I'm proud of you for not panic picking him at 10 because you were able to squeeze.
I channeled Howie. I got the guy I wanted and still got some more from there.
And Armand wanted you to trade for Derrick Henry here, which I don't think would be a bad pick as well. I think that would another first round trade for Harry Roseman. I think that would make sense.
I don't think that's a great fit for the Eagles at this point with his age. No, get a guy you can have on a rookie contract for 4 to 5 years. Is how I see it. You just signed Jalen Hurts. He's only going into year 3.
Yeah, and we
4.
know
Yeah,
we know Bijan's not going to be available with their next pick. So unless they trade up with their next pick, I think that makes sense. I also think if they picked like an offensive lineman or defensive lineman in that interior, I wouldn't be surprised because their run game is so good with almost anybody. Maybe like Miles Sanders had a great year last year, and they still have some pieces
kind of
there.
like, they're running back proof. But I mean, with Bijan, any team. I mean, Bijan is bad OL proof. Mm-hmm. So it's a perfect match. Good offensive line. Yeah. Great running back.
Great offensive line.
Yeah, should be.
I will say quickly, I probably would have gone Skoronski if he fell to 10. I probably would have because he's a guy who can go right into the guard spot. You can have Cam Jurgens sit another year. And then if Lane Johnson retires, you can kick Skoronski out to tackle. It's kind of, I don't think the Eagles can pass that up if he fell, but he went to the Bears and it made my decision easy.
Yeah, and Howie Moses, I think if this happened in real life, Eagles fans would be like, yeah, Howie did it again. He got some assets and only moved down a couple picks and still got a guy who's going to help them now. So we talked about it earlier. So absolutely.
Here we go.
All right, back on the clock.
Yeah.
I get to pick at 13 instead of 15. I did a trade earlier today. We haven't really talked about that on the air yet, so this is a good opportunity to say that the Jets Aaron Rodgers trade is official. The Packers move up 2 spots. They get a second, an early second in this draft. They get a second that can turn into a first next year. And we get to move up 2 spots, which is why we're picking at 13 instead of 15. But Armand and the Jets, they get their quarterback. And if they find success, then it's all worth it. And if Jordan Love is successful, then it's worth it for the Pack as well. So I need weapons, right? That's my big thing. I could consider some O-line. I could consider defense.
Wait, hold on, Brian. Can I text you something really quick?
Of course.
All right, sweet.
Gutekunst is willing to listen. He's got a pretty good idea of which direction he wants to go here, but
Yeah, I mean, we know the Packers haven't picked a first-round wide receiver in quite some time. But, I mean, a pass catcher here would be huge for Jordan Love. Anybody that would help Jordan Love right now, I think Jordan Love, his fifth-year option still needs to be picked up, but I'm sure, yeah. I could just let it vibe, or I could just keep talking. It doesn't matter.
I love this music. Anthony, you're going to have to send me this link after.
I can just picture Kevin I can picture Kevin listening to this music with his purple lighting and all sorts of things going on. Yeah, absolutely. Anthony's got a good playlist. Hopefully this is not copyrighted.
Brian, can you make a counter? I want to know what you think is enough. I don't want to waste either of our time.
I love this.
It's so fun. This is like, I'm just living out my fantasy here.
If you're just joining, negotiations are ongoing. That's why there's chill hold music going on.
Yeah, I'm excited for Jordan Love. Honestly, I traded for him in a dynasty league. It wasn't too big of a purchase. I didn't have to buy too much, but I had Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback, and I don't know what's going to happen with him. But I think Jordan Love is kind of a buy low, but now he's just kind of a sell high right now. So we all kind of
this is so bad, Brian. I don't think I should do this, man. I just realized that if I did this, I would have no picks in the first.
Sorry, I said no anyway. So
good,
okay.
Good. Let's keep it. I would be remiss if I didn't ask. I had to float it.
You got to tell us what happened after the pick.
Yeah, of course.
So here's an interesting one. Definitely getting a pass catcher. Really at 15, have always kind of been looking towards tight end, but at 13, I think that's almost a little too rich, even especially as deep as this tight end class is. So I'm going to go with the only surefire top number 1 wide receiver I see on this board, and that's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Let's add him to Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Let's give Jordan Love a just plethora of weapons to throw to. We still have a need for tight end, but this tight end class is so deep I can get a stud in the 2nd or 3rd round. I picked up an extra second from the Jets, so I could really play around with that. If I get a chance at 13 to get the draft's top receiver, I'm nailing that. So I did have a pretty decent offer from Kevin on behalf of Brandon Beane and the Bills at 27, but it wasn't quite good enough for me to pass up. It was mainly because if he's not here, maybe, but the fact that I could take the top wide receiver in the draft at 13 as the Jordan Love era begins, I got to do this here.
Yeah. I think it's a great pick.
All right, New England Patriots.
Evil Bill is on the clock.
Hey, Evil Bill. I'm right here, man. What are you talking about?
Hey, yeah, come on.
For Bill Belichick, you should have the picture of him with the dog on the computer from the 2020 draft.
That'd be awesome. I need to get
it.
Oh gosh. Bill Belichick's the best. All right, so I'm kind of going through my options in my head a little bit. I'm probably gonna. Trading down, trading up. I'm not really interested in. With the Patriots, could they do that with future picks? Probably. Could they trade down? Absolutely. If you guys want to trade up for a certain guy, I'm willing to hear offers here. So I'll give it a little bit of time. Boo the Pats. Bella bust. Wow, that's rude. I posted a stat the other day.
He's a Jets fan.
Yeah, out of the Pats since 2000, they've drafted the most All Pros. So at least All Pros that have been selected since 2017 of them. So I wouldn't say Bill Belichick exactly has a bust connotation to it, but I don't blame you for the past few draft moves there. So we shall see. Let's see here.
God, I love this music. McFadden, are you
He keeps asking people.
sending some text? Oh yeah,
Is
absolutely.
he gonna answer? Is he gonna answer?
I didn't send anything in. I'm just
I'm good.
just
I got
so we don't
nothing.
have to wait any
Alright.
longer than
I got
necessary.
nothing for you.
All right, I will go ahead and make my pick then. So the Patriots, they've had. I think I've talked about it on like multiple shows now because I feel like I keep talking about the Patriots. They've had some offensive line troubles in the past. Could they go? Could they go cornerback here? Could they go pass rusher? I'm not too sure. And I mean, they could even use a running back, but I don't think that's something Bill Belichick would do. So I'll go with Broderick Jones with my next pick. Continue
pick.
kind of the offensive line movement there. He's a big body, and on that tackle, I think he's going to be huge. Is Mac Jones the guy? We'll find out. But I think, like I've said in the past, kind of doing everything you can to maximize his potential is huge. And Broderick Jones, he's a big body. It's going to be hard to get around him, and he's out of Georgia, and you know how Georgia guys are. They're just phenomenal talents, and there's a lot of talents on the board here. But I wanted to go with the offensive line talent and Broderick Jones.
And considering a lot of mocks, including ours, Kevin, had the Jets taking a tackle, them falling back just 2 spots, they miss out on a guy like Broderick Jones. They would have been ahead of the Patriots. So this is just dominoes to add to this particular trade.
People don't think of that like just dropping 2 picks is not a big deal. It's always a big deal,
Right.
Especially with a top 15 pick like that. I mean, it's premium if you want your guy, but we'll see what kind of bust and stuff happen in a few years. But right now they want their guy. So.
Yep. And so at 15, we are listening to offers as well. Do any of the GMs for the other teams have any interest in coming up? No from Big Mac. NFL stats.
I think I'm okay right now.
Okay. That's good because we're okay too. We're happy here because we like a lot of the names at the position of need still. But I think there is a bit of a teardrop if we don't go with the name. Actually, you know what? That's a really interesting thing. I'm going to bring in my co-GM, Armand. Mr. Armand, we got 2 names here, and I wanted to run them by you, and I trust you to make the pick between the 2. But I like DeJuan Jones, and I like Darnell Wright. Armand told me DeJuan Jones in the TikTok live. He said DeJuan Jones. And do you guys like DeJuan Jones?
I mean, they both have their issue. What I like about Darnell Wright, he's actually a little polarized. He's one of the best pass blockers in this draft. He actually is very poor run blocking grade. Is that something that can be coached up? He is huge. He has the strength. He has the size. So I think it's probably a technique thing. Yeah. But hey, at the end of the day, you want to get a pass blocker. You just added Aaron Rodgers. So I think Darnell Wright has a higher ceiling.
I think with respect to Armand and his time, I'm seeing the clock tick down. The big board that I'm using, I'm kind of rotating through. I'm trying to get a consensus feel for how the people feel about the 2. Yeah, DeJuan Jones doesn't get a ton of love from these, pundits, and I like DeJuan Jones, and I've thought about him a lot as a candidate for like late first, early second. And I think that's probably where he'll go. Yeah, Armand, I appreciate you giving me that I kind of needed a little nudge from you. You're the Jets fan here, and I want you to be happy with our pick. So we're going to lock in Darnell Wright, and we're going to, again, as I've said for every single pick, we feel really good about it. The board fell away that Wright was the guy. We might have looked at Jones, but Brian,
we put Wright in the mock last time.
I was gonna say in our last mock we had Wright because these are good tackles, man. It's not often that you see this many good tackles in the first round, so it's cool to see that the prospects at tackle are a little safer this year. All the tackle needy teams, which I mean, if you don't have 2 bona fide good tackles, you are tackle needy in my opinion because it's such an important position. So we're super happy to take Darnell Wright, and I believe that's the last true, great tackle in this class, in my opinion. Here we go, baby.
Washington Commanders.
Anyone have any interest in coming up to 16? We have some interest in moving back. No. Jimmy? Any names you see falling that you're intrigued by?
Nope.
All right, then we will do what they say on the streets. We will do a stick and pick. And oh my word, this is insane. Some of the names that are on the board right now. Brian, will you remind me what we had as the Commanders' biggest draft need in our last show?
They definitely need offensive line help.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the names right now at 16, so I'm trying to.
They might not
refresh.
whether they extend Chase Young or Montez Sweat is a question, so you may have to look towards edge.
Yeah. Actually, I have a really quick
Quarterback?
I was gonna say, I know. I have a quick proposition actually, that I want to text a certain GM. So give me 1 second, boys.
Well, you got 1:50. Hold music, Anthony. There you go. We just want to negotiate so we can hear this music for every pick.
That's actually literally what I was doing. I actually texted you both and said, "Let me vibe for a second."
I think you texted the wrong GM.
Oh, did I?
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This is like submitting the wrong pick. What is going on here?
I do not represent that team.
I actually sent a very threatening text message to McFadden, and I'm now realizing it was supposed to be to Jimmy.
And now I was just sent a threatening.
Did you just copy and paste the same one?
there.
Yeah.
I wasn't as nice. I sent a winky face to Brian. He's still the boss, but I
I'm
didn't
not.
wink
I'm
at
not
Jimmy.
taking that
He
threat.
can,
I'm not
he can
taking that
disrespect
threat.
Jimmy, no problem.
You don't care about my threat?
Absolutely not. Go for it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, despite my threats, they were empty. I will confess. I am absolutely elated that this name fell to me. And despite my desire to maneuver, I'm not mad even in the slightest that I get this player at 16. We're going to be welcoming Chase Young's replacement, Nolan Smith,
Wow.
to the Commanders.
I
So
see what happened there.
your text
I see
was
what
a
happened
lie.
there.
It was an
What?
empty threat.
This text was a lie.
It was an absolutely empty threat.
I love it
Yeah,
because
I
I
will-
guarantee that's what that happens in the NFL.
Did he text you? I'm taking Porter unless you
Yes.
move up. Is that what he
Yes,
texted you?
he
All
threatened
right.
that he would take Joey Porter
fair.
Jr.
I know how bad
at
everybody
16.
wants Porter to be a Steeler, but I was willing to rain on the parade just to get some more
Jeez.
capital. Didn't work out.
I love it. I love the attempt. though.
It was worth a shot.
All right. Anybody want to talk about Nolan Smith, or are we just moving on?
Oh yeah, I hope you guys can understand the value there.
I love the
Yeah,
ceiling.
absolutely.
I mean, he's small, but the athleticism and the effort. He's a guy who has a great motor.
Yep.
But I mean, come on, he's like a physical freak. What did he run?
Freak.
4.4
Like
or something? Yeah.
4.39 or something.
That's
Look, faster
insane.
than Saquon, faster than Diggs. Look,
Yeah.
what I'm looking at is we don't really want to extend both Sweat and Chase Young, and we're staring that in the face. And I saw an opportunity to make that need obsolete, at least on one side of the center, at least on one side of the tackles. So we took it.
Yeah. So I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers GM here, and I know you just mentioned Joey Porter going to the Steelers. That could happen. They need some offensive line help. I think to protect Kenny Pickett. I think that could happen.
Yeah.
And I think the big name here, Joey Porter. I think with him being connected with Tracy, I mean that's a legend. I think that would make a lot of sense. But I like Deontay Banks better. Let's go ahead and go Deontay.
Yeah.
I mean let's go a little different there. I mean I think the
love it.
versatility there is something I'll take. He can play at the slot. He can play outside. I know Joey Porter is very good in press coverage, and he can get on wide receivers throughout the game. But I feel like we could do a lot more with Deontay Banks, and I'm excited. I mean, we lost Cam Sutton, so that'd be a good replacement for him. Patrick Peterson's there as well. I think this could bolster our secondary. You can never have enough guys back there. So, yeah, Deontay Banks over the name and Joey Porter, but I'm sure Joey Porter will be taken eventually.
I love it. I think you made a good pick. The name and the fun of it is kind of like, for me, the engine. The prospect is obviously amazing. I'm not sweating on Joey Porter whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the name and the prospect is the real
Yeah.
appeal. But Deonte Banks is great too, and that is a need for the Steelers. So yeah, I think you made a good
Yeah,
pick.
it's a good pick. I like the idea of Joey Porter Jr. going to play for the Steelers.
You
but
have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Deonte Banks as a prospect, yeah, I can't argue with it.
Yeah, but yeah, when you said I was thinking about maybe trading up over the Commanders, but I kind of took the risk there and I got my guy in Deonte Banks. But I would have still been happy with Joey Porter too.
We were staring corners. We were staring down the corners.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But Smith was just. I think Smith is a top 10 prospect. So to get him at 16 was
having that talent right there. That was it was hard to pass up. I don't blame you. I would have considered him too. You got to take best player available when you have people like that available, like Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith.
Couldn't not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I've already got my draft card in on this one.
Whoa.
We know we've got a very solid pass rush. We've really addressed defensive secondary, both in free agency, in trade, and with our first pick for Detroit. Passed on Jalen Carter. Still fine that I did that because I've got the second best defensive interior lineman here on the board waiting for me. This is a guy who, as Brad Holmes, the last time I drafted a Pitt defensive interior lineman, he turned it into one of the greatest NFL defensive players of all time. So I'm going to go Kalijah Kancey. He may not be Aaron Donald, but I think he can really... Clearly, Anthony approves of this pick here. But now I've got a stud defensive interior to go with my solid pass rush, to go with my new and improved secondary, to go with my great offense. The Lions, man, they are just cruising to their way for a division title and a playoff appearance in 2023.
Love that pick.
Yeah, I don't see it. And with all the wide receivers they kind of lost recently, they already kind of were looking for one. But I don't see necessarily one that you could pick at 18. You could pick one later on, but if you're not enamored with any of them, I don't know if there's any talent that you could take at 18.
There's some decent depth in this wide receiver class. A lot of like wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3. We still have Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Jameson Williams is coming back. He's not gone. He's just gone for 6 games.
Right.
So I'm not going to reach on a wide receiver here at 20 when the defensive side of the ball. We didn't have Jameson Williams to the end of the year last year. And we were one of the best offenses, especially in the second half of the season. So very excited to make this pick. Getting Witherspoon and Kancey, we're feeling very good in the Motor City right now.
I love it.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Another one where I'm going to open up the floor. Don't feel any pressure, guys. I'm not going to send any threatening text messages yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of put off by that, I feel like our relationship went down a little bit further.
No, it's okay because that was the Falcons GM. You have beef with the Falcons GM and Nick Caserio, but you and me are still cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't get it wrapped around my head with all these different names going on.
Yeah, I would be happy to discuss terms if anybody has any interest. I'm staring down some names that I really like. I'm staring down some positions that I would really be happy to address in Tampa. So if anybody has any, I haven't received a no from McFadden, so I'm anticipating. Like I said, my phone is on, and there's 2 minutes on the clock.
Listen, I would say with my next team that I would consider trading up, but kind of they have a lack of draft capital and they might need some, especially for next year. So I'll just be public and say I'll pass. So I'll let Brian take the table unless he just has to pass. So he's raising his eyebrows for those who can't see right now. So I think something's happening. On the board right now, we have Miles Murphy, Brian Branch, got some wide receivers, Jordan Addison and Quentin Johnston. We got Isaiah Fosley, Joey Porter, Kayla Ringo. We got some cornerback, tight ends, wide receivers, edge guys. There's a lot of guys that could be trading up right now. I don't know. I can't remember who Brian has. I know there's a lot of people who could use an edge guy right now. So we'll see how this goes. But for now, we're just going to listen to music. 1 minute left.
I love
Brian.
Jimmy's narration to fill in the
No,
time.
I actually really
Absolutely love
appreciate
it.
that. Yeah.
He's crushing it.
I just listen. I have no idea who he's going for here. Who did the?
This man
who
is an
did that?
absolute pro, Jimmy Ray. Hey, McFadden's a tough
Brian is?
negotiator, just so you guys know. Oh yeah,
Listen,
He is a
always
tough
make the last
negotiator.
offer. That's the hardest thing to do.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Brian has. What does he have left? The Chargers, Jags.
All right, lock it
Cowboys.
in. You want to text it to the homie, or do you want me to?
Go ahead. You do it.
All right, I got it. Anthony, I have terms coming your way.
Once again, for audio-only listeners, please watch the YouTube. Because they're like,
Or just listen to this
And-
nice music.
or
I mean,
just, you know what? Or just vibe.
just know something's going on right now. You're in a draft room right now, so a lot's going on.
I'm stoked, McFadden. I really appreciate you being willing to negotiate. Do you see how nice I am, Jimmy?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You blocked his number, so he has no
Yeah.
idea how nice you can be.
Yeah, did you text me? I didn't see it. You told me to lose it. I don't know what's going on with that.
That's
that was
true,
different.
actually.
I will say, let's just say it right off the bat. I miss Roger Goodell's chair from back in the day.
From
From the COVID chair.
From the COVID thing, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
I
very
thought about that
awkward
the other
draft.
day.
It was
I thought about
awkward.
I thought about it the other day. So I just want to let you know. I think you should bring it back.
We got a question in the chat. Oh wait, we got the trade, Evan. Let's announce our trade, and then we can look into that question.
Tampa Bay trades pick 19 with LA Chargers pick 21, a third round this year and a fifth next year.
Okay.
Love that. Thank you, Brian. You met my needs there, and I'm very happy, and I hope you get your guy.
Bolt up.
Bolt up, he said. Oh, nice.
So, all right. So here's there was a guy I had in mind who might have fallen to me, but I know that it was actually a need for the Bucs, so I was a little worried that they would take them. I wasn't really worried about Seattle. And I need weapons, right? We got Kellen Moore coming in, new offensive coordinator here. We still have Justin Herbert on a rookie contract, although that's not going to be for long. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, amazing weapons when they're healthy. Gerald Everett's fine, but I could use a real weapon that can hit the seam. And there is one pass-catching tight end that's better than all the rest. PFF has him ranked at 10 on their big board. I'm happy to get him at 19. I'm going to draft Dalton Kincaid, tight end out of Utah. He may not be as pro-ready from a blocking standpoint as somebody like Michael Mayer, but I think he has the highest ceiling of the pass-catcher tight ends here. And the wide receivers, still a little bit too high to draft one of the other guys. So Kincaid was the one. Didn't want to risk the Bucs taking him. Threw a third this year and a fifth next year to move up 2 spots and make sure I got our guy.
And I'll be honest with you, I think it's a fantastic pick for the Chargers. I kind of thought that's what you were coming up for, but to be honest with you, I was looking at other names. I'm still sort of, some of the Bucs
probably,
names,
but I wasn't. I just didn't want to take the risk for 2 spots.
I respect it. I
Price
think it's
was
a
good
great move.
enough. Go up and get my guy because now we've still got Eckler, at least one more year. So you're talking about Eckler, Kincaid. If Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both stay healthy, you still have Guyton, Josh Palmer. That's a nice crew to really take this Chargers to the next step. They were on the brink of a playoff win last year. They got a much better offensive coordinator. Let's go. Bolt up.
Bolt up. Okay, my friends, we are back to the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm stoked to be here at 20. Given that I already got Tyree Wilson at 5, I already feel really great about that. Now, I'm looking at the board, right? I'm looking at my big board, and I'm seeing some unbelievable names. Like, again, names that are just shocking that they're available at this pick. And it's extremely, extremely difficult to decide between all the positions and all the needs. Now, I'm kind of thinking that there's a name that I'm seeing that I really like. And, it's interesting because the Seahawks, they were a playoff team last year. They are ascendant. Geno Smith's locked up. They don't have a theoretical quarterback of the future. We would be open to hearing offers if you guys wanted to come up. Anybody, Jimmy or Brian, leapfrog the Bucks. We're good. We're happy.
Is that a yeah? We said, oh, I don't know what Jimmy's doing.
I haven't
Turn on
gotten
some
a no.
music then. Get some music in here, Anthony. In the meantime, I'm just going to talk. Evan Georgiados in the chat asked about Grant Dupos. I had not heard of him, so I'm looking him up. He is a wide receiver prospect out of Charlotte. Not only 2 years in the NFL, or I'm sorry, in major college. Big body receiver. Looking up his RAS right now, his relative athletic score. Okay, so he is 6'2", 201, which in a wide receiver class stands out, considering the top of the class is much smaller. Not a lot of great agility. 4.32 shuttle is not very good. Broad jump of 10. Just looking at his testing numbers here.
Cool.
40-yard dash 4.57. So not very fast. He's not a blazer. Vertical 35. So he doesn't exactly have explosive jumping ability. Hand size 9.5. Okay, but nothing special. Yeah, he's raw. He's a prospect.
Cool. But that's, I mean, hey, Grant Dupos, man, that might be a name we'll hear someday. I mean, yeah, like you said, Brian, haven't heard much about him, but that's cool that he's getting tested. And, you know, it'd be sick if he got drafted. Is he projected to get drafted, Brian?
Let me see if it says.
And Jimmy, you're not sending any offers, huh?
Round 6 to 7.
No.
So he's big towards the end of the draft.
Okay. No worries. Guys, Seahawks. So I'm looking at the hole that I'm going to have. And
Real quick, I'm going to highlight this. Nice tape on him beating Deontay Banks on a goal line fade.
Oh, that's cool.
Not my new cornerback. Come on.
Well, hey, in sixth to seventh round is that would be, yeah. I mean,
Can't win them all.
those prospects.
Lance
hit all the
Zerline
time.
says he's still in the learning stages, but already displays some route talent. Lack of separation quickness could make his battle for a roster spot more challenging. So gets in the right situation, makes a splash in camp. We'll see.
Pretty
Yeah, get on the
interesting.
roster, figure it out later. Once you get on the roster.
Thanks for the question, Evan. Feel
Yeah,
free.
we appreciate that.
We'll address them, especially while negotiations are ongoing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
this draft has
absolutely.
been insane. I'm super.
All right, back to the
thankful
Seahawks.
I'm super thankful to come back to the pick, and there's a guy. There's a name that's just I can't look past it. I really like this player. He's at a position of need. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are, we haven't, really rounded that corner in terms of elite passing offenses. And I like Jordan Addison out of USC a lot here at this pick for Seattle. And given that we already locked up the edge rushing position, it's a little too early for those, late round quarterbacks. There's no interior offensive lineman that I'm really too moved by right now. So I'm very comfortable taking Jordan Addison for Seattle here at 20.
Metcalf, Addison, Lockett. That's a good landing spot for a guy like Addison. He doesn't have to be the wide receiver 1.
Right.
Good spot for him to be a nice slot.
Yeah.
Maybe take over for Lockett, who
Yeah,
is
that's kind of what I'm
approaching age.
thinking.
He was 30, I think. He's already crossed 30.
Yeah, Lockett's sneaky up there.
Yeah.
He's been doing it forever. Okay, here we are. We're back on
Back
the
on
clock
it.
with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we picked up a third and a fifth, and I have to be completely honest with you, the same two names are staring me in the face. They were staring me in the face last time. So I'm still open to a trade down. I would like, again, Jimmy, if you don't have it, you can say no, but I'm here at 21 willing to come back if anybody wants to come up. None from
No
the
interest
chat.
this time. Yeah. Chargers got their guy.
This beat goes so hard. I could do this all day.
I'm going to go ahead and switch to my next.
Jimmy, any thoughts?
I can't convince myself
Oh, wait,
to
no, Jags.
make a trade here.
Don't worry about it, my dude, because I think there's a blue chip prospect at a position that I'm still interested in drafting. And I think this might have been how we went last round, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 2 picks later, and I'm very happy. Give me Miles Murphy, edge out of Clemson. Buccaneers need to solidify
Nice.
their pass rush. They've been, they still have some really good pieces. Devin White wants out. That's going to be interesting. That, stand-up linebacker.
I like that pick at 21 too. I love
value,
bouncing
screaming
back
value.
2 spots and getting Murphy for the Bucks.
And a third and a fifth, and like I said, that might have been who I picked at 19. So I'm very happy to make this pick, and I am ready to move on with the draft, boys.
We got the Baltimore Ravens coming in. So yeah, I thought a lot about the Ravens trading up and stuff, but they only have 5 picks this year, so it's hard to kind of, and especially with a lot of question marks they have at the quarterback position. I just don't really want to give away any picks for next year that could be used in the future if we need to make some moves or kind of rebuild or get some more picks. So if anybody wants to trade up here, I'm also it's also on the clock. But if not, I'd be happy to very happy to make a pick here.
I think I'm willing to let you make your pick.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm willing to. Let's see. Listen, I would love to pick a wide receiver here. But also with those 5 picks, I want someone that's a sure thing that can make an impact on the other side of the ball. Defending the wide receiver here, I'm going to take Joey Porter.
Nice.
I mean, they traded Chuck Clark. They Marcus Peters isn't on the team yet. I mean, I think this could be a pick that would be controversial. I think I probably would have gone with Miles Murphy if he had been available, but I just wasn't ready to make that commitment with the Ravens. But looking at the wide receivers on the board, there are some talented wide receivers here, but I'm ready to go all in on Joey Porter as a Baltimore Raven, and he'll definitely make an impact and kind of be the leader of the secondary for the time coming. So
love that.
All right, move it on, Anthony.
That is me, Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are another very interesting team. Porter was a thought. I have to be completely honest with you. We're a little disappointed that we lost out on Porter. I'm not gonna, again, if you guys don't have any offers to come up, I won't make us wait as badly as I want to hear that music again. Anybody have any thoughts on moving up, or are we feeling confident where we're at?
No.
I'm
In
feeling
fact,
good.
I'll move down with the Jags if anybody has picks.
I think we're all in that position.
24.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because Brian, we've talked about this ad nauseum, and this is one of the things that's really, really coming to light in this exercise. My goodness, is there
The blue
so
chips
much?
are gone. Yeah.
Well, the blue chips are gone, no doubt, but there's so much late first, early second talent that's going to be a bit like there's like 30 names still that I think could go in the first round out of everybody who's left. It's
that's how I
unbelievable
feel.
how middle heavy this first round is.
Yeah, I mean, you keep asking me to trade up, and I'm like, I feel comfortable with a few of those guys still
Right.
left, and
Yeah, I
they,
don't
like
wanna
I know
reach.
one of them will be left. Yeah.
Yep. So there's 3 names, and I'll talk through this. So I'm thinking the biggest positions of need that I'm looking at for the Vikings are corner. I think that's a no-brainer. Defensive tackle, I think that's a no-brainer. And off-ball linebacker. Now, it's too early for an off-ball linebacker. There's going to be studs available early second round, maybe mid-second. I can try to trade up then. There's some defensive tackle names I really like, but there's also some defensive back names I really like. And I'm thinking about maybe letting Harrison Smith walk. So if you guys are cool with talking through
Well,
this
they
with me-
restructured his contract.
Oh, that's right. So
But-
Harrison Smith is going to stay.
But still, they need. Peterson's gone.
Yeah, I was gonna
they
say,
need
'cause
defensive
I'm-
backs, but Dalvin Tomlinson's gone in the interior. So honestly, either best player available between cornerback and defensive tackle.
is what I'm thinking. Yeah, and so I do have a couple corners slightly above my highest defensive tackle on my big board. Do you guys like Khalil Ringo out of Georgia? I would either go Ringo. I like Brian Branch.
I like Forbes better.
Emmanuel Forbes.
He's one of the most pro-ready corners as far as his technique, and I believe he's the highest graded for PFF.
Yeah,
He's smaller. He's not as but he's a playmaker.
Yeah, so I like Forbes. I like Brian Branch, and so okay. You know what? I am happy to. This is why when I'm in these positions, I'm happy to talk through it, because that's how I feel like we get our best
89.3
foot
coverage grade by Forbes.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with Emmanuel Forbes here for the Vikings, and I'm very comfortable with them taking a corner in the first round. I think it's almost necessary. I mean, the other positions are a bit luxury position, like not exactly luxury positions, but they're, it's important.
Time's up.
Oh yeah, no, I'm locking in Forbes. It's good.
It'd be funny. You're the Vikings, and the time ran out, so they could skip you, just like the last time a pick was skipped. It was the Vikings.
That's so funny. What a
But
horrible.
yeah, no, we'll give you Forbes there. 6'1", 166. The biggest question about him is his weight.
I do like
but
him
his
a lot.
technique, he's like I said, he's very pro ready. He's one of the guys that's more ready to start based on his tape. Faced some great wide receivers in the SEC, playing for Mississippi State. So I think that's
He's one of the smaller wide receivers.
4 minutes. Oh, I was going to say they gave me an extra minute. All right, I mentioned earlier the Jags pick is on the block, but I'm not exactly expecting either of you guys to move up. But as I look through my prospects, I don't have anybody that I'm ready to slam in this pick for. So unless you guys change your mind, I am going to just make a decision here. Need interior offensive line, but it's too early for that kind of pick. So would have liked to have picked back. Osiris Torrance is the top interior guard, but picking him at 24, it's not a huge need.
But he is great. To be clear, he's a great guard. He's just, I don't think he's a first round guard.
Could use edge, but the top edge rushers are off the class. So I mean, I've got some guys.
Yeah, there's
Lucas
some
Van
names.
Ness, Will McDonald, kind of in
Foskey.
this range. Need DB and would have taken Forbes if he would have
You're so
fallen.
unselfish, Brian. Because you floated that. You helped me make that pick.
I'm being
so.
objective. I was
a
the
man of the
host,
people.
and now I'm Trent Baalke, so I
He's a
can
man
go
of the
back and
people.
forth. I think I'm not going to be able to trade out of this, so I think I'm going to have to go edge rusher. And I think the safest pick at this one would be Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Has
pick.
some question marks, but at this point in the draft at 24, he's 27th on the PFF big board, so kind of right in that range there. Yeah, not a lot of extra fluff to add. Good motor,
Yeah,
not a lot of moves, maybe a little stiff, but hard worker. One of those motor
He's definitely
guys.
fast, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good athletic traits. Moving on.
I'll go ahead and make my pick here. It doesn't seem like a lot of us are willing to trade up, but if you guys want to,
I think
you're
we're out
more
of
than
that. We
welcome
might be out of
to.
that. Yeah, if I
Yeah,
see any
absolutely.
names late 20s, I might look. But for now,
Yeah, listen, the Giants need to help out Daniel Jones. Let's be clear here. And I know they traded for Darren Waller here, but let's go ahead and get Quentin Johnson.
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm honestly pretty excited about that pick. The TCU
What a
wide
polarizing
receiver.
prospect, you guys.
Yeah,
I like him.
Well, here's the thing with Johnson is, once again, he's going to benefit from being a bigger receiver in a very small receiver class. But
Yeah.
he doesn't win like most big receivers win. He's actually great after the catch, not good at the catch point, not good in contested catches, has issues with drops, but he's very hard to tackle when he has the ball. So he has almost the profile, and from what I can see, plays the game like a smaller, shiftier receiver, except he's, 6'3"? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird juxtaposition there, which is why I think there's question marks around Johnson.
so hopefully we can teach him to get the ball, and then we'll deal with it afterwards because he seems like he's
He's
pretty
got
good
some
after
crazy
that,
yak
so.
ability. He's a crazy athlete.
Yeah,
There he is.
yeah, I'm excited.
Am I Jarrah or
Is
am I
that Jerry?
Steven? Which Jones am I?
You gotta
Am I
be Jerry. You
a
gotta be
combination of
Jerry.
the two. Yeah, I'm still Jerry. He's still alive.
have
He's
to
still
be.
kicking. So this one is what I wanted this guy to go in the first mock, but you had the Cowboys, Kevin. So I'm glad I have them
Love
this
Jahmyr
time.
Gibbs to the Cowboys.
Dalton Schultz. No, I'm not doing.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And there has been talk about that lately, about Gibbs, if he's available at 26 for the Cowboys. Apparently, some front offices like Gibbs better than Robinson, for what that's worth. But I believe in Tony Pollard. We've got him on a one-year deal. We do need running back depth, but guess what? This is a great running back class. I have a huge need at tight end. Dalton Schultz out the door. We got Ferguson. We got Hendershot. But if
Ramon
I can
called
get a
it.
guy like Michael Mayer,
There
who
it
is
is.
like Jason Witten 2.0, right? So I can put him right into this. He's a great pass blocker, very gritty player, physical guy. He's going to fit this Dallas offense, a team that wants to run the ball, according to Mike McCarthy. I was hoping that nobody took him I think he's such a good fit here. I'm going to turn in the draft card, not even waiting for offers on this. Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame for the Dallas Cowboys at 26.
Love that.
Other one.
Easy money.
Yep, makes sense.
Great pick. Here we go,
Brandon
baby.
Bean.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Listening
They
to
got nuked,
offers.
so we should mention for people who weren't who didn't start the show because we got a decent crowd in now. What did you? Who is now a member of the Bills?
So before the show, I actually sent Brian pick 91 this year and a third next year. I sent that to the Cardinals for DeAndre Hopkins, and I feel great about it. If the board
So
had
Hopkins
fallen,
in this exercise, Hopkins is
already
a Bill.
Already a Bill. So I would have definitely heavily considered a couple names here at receiver, and I'll walk through them because there is part of me that wants to double dip at the position, but I'm not going to. Because I think the team does really like Gabe Davis, and I like the Sherfield and Hardy signings. So I'm not gonna just create an irrelevant. I'm not gonna be redundant with this. I do really like Josh Downs. I really like Zay Flowers. They probably would have been the biggest receivers I would have considered here at this position. But there's actually one name that I'm elated fell to Buffalo, and it actually opens up a possibility that a player might be on the move. Spoiler alert. In the rest of this draft. But Brian Brzee from Clemson being there at 27 to me feels like a sprint to the podium pick for the Bills. They need help on the interior defensive line. Ed Oliver hasn't been bad. He's been a very serviceable defensive tackle.
I tried to get Oliver in that Cardinals trade.
He
by
did.
the way.
He did, and now I'm wondering if I had known Brzee would be there at 27, I might have done that and kept my third next year. But that's
Which,
okay.
by the way, could mean that the real DeAndre Hopkins could get traded during the draft, depending on how things fall for Buffalo.
I'm absolutely staring at that. I'm absolutely.
If they've been negotiating with the Cardinals, same thing for the Chiefs.
Which is just man alive if DeAndre Hopkins goes to play with Mahomes. I almost think the Bills should get DeAndre as keep away, to be honest with you.
Play defense.
Play some defense. But I do love the Brzee pick here. It feels like a no-brainer for me. I'm stoked to add him to this interior defensive line. Brian, probably the third interior defensive line prospect.
Yeah. Was it the Michigan defensive tackle?
Maisie Smith?
Maisie Smith, yeah.
Yeah, he's
probably
up there.
The next one that's in, kind of right
Same,
there.
Close to Brzee, but I think Brzee is more of like a, I think him and Cansey are like the 2A, 2B. And then I think Carter's the runaway best prospect. But
do you think this is best case scenario for you guys? Or what do you think your best case
to
scenario
trade for DeAndre Hopkins and get Brian Brzee at 27? Yeah. It's going to depend on what happens in the early second round. To be honest with you, it's not Jack Campbell or bust, but I really am hoping Jack Campbell is in a Bills uniform by the end of the draft.
Absolutely.
I would think about moving up into the early second, probably not late first. I just haven't seen. I don't think there's going to be any guards in the first round, and I don't think there's going to be any off-ball linebackers in the first round. There's always surprises, but it's not shaping up that any prospects. So Cyrus Torrance, right? Yeah, it's just I could see Drew Sanders. That would be one I'd be happy with. Trenton Simpson. Those are some names I'm okay with, but Jack Campbell is like the pie in the sky. So that would be perfect. That would be best case scenario, Jimmy, is if we get those guys and Campbell. That would be best case scenario.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
Appreciate that.
Cincinnati Bengals.
So honestly, I was kind of looking at Michael Mayer would have been a good pick here for the Bengals. I felt like that would have been that would have been a good pick, but they did lose Von Bell and Jesse Bates in free agency, right? So they have a pretty big need at the safety position, and there's a guy that dropped a little bit. I know safeties don't necessarily get picked high, but Brian Branch here is going to be a great pick, I think, for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm excited to fill that hole for Cincy and with a great player. So, I mean, there's not much to say after that. So
I really like that pick.
You didn't check your phone. I tried to trade.
Oh, did you really? I'm ready. Well, that says it all. Did you?
I think you texted me.
Oh, I texted Kevin.
Oh,
no.
We both did the same thing, bro.
Wah, wah. Okay.
You and me both, man.
All right. See, I don't deserve the trade then.
Well, can we hear the offer? Can we hear what you would have offered?
Oh, I don't even figure. I just texted trade. I wanted to see if we could start a negotiation.
Oh, I love it.
So
I love it.
Now we won't know, or we will when we get to this team.
There you go.
That's fair. Maybe next time.
Lock it in. Brian Branch, Bengals.
Brian Branch
Absolutely.
goes to Cincy.
Brian Branch, Alabama.
Oh, here we go. These are my boys right here. Y'all know I'm a huge Derek Carr fan, and I was tasked with representing the Saints' case for being the Hard Knocks team. So I've done a little extra digging on this team. I know a little bit. I know a thing or two about this team.
I should hope so. You're the general manager of them right now.
Well, exactly. Right.
You are Mickey Loomis.
Let me get back into character. So you know,
Said,
you like that? You like that little?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So the Saints are interesting because I think there's a couple cases to be made at a couple different positions. I'm looking at, I mean, you know, you have to think. I mentioned on I think it was either the last mock show or it was the draft team needs show. They're losing a lot of reinforcements on the defensive line, and Cam Jordan's in the last year of his deal. So defensive line is interesting. McFadden, did you want to text me for a trade or Jimmy? Because I would be okay with maybe coming down as the Saints general manager.
I have
here.
no teams left really, so
It's difficult because I want to go.
Yes, I do.
I want to go premier position since it's the first round. I feel good about what we've done at quarterback. I feel good about what we've done at running back this offseason. Kamara's probably gonna miss some time, but I love Jamal Williams. I love that signing. Offensive line is a sneaky need. It's always kind of a need. I think as long as you're, you know, trying to pass the ball as effectively as you can, you need good offensive linemen. So there's a couple names here, specifically at tackle, that just seem too good to pass up. And I'm thinking about pulling trigger on. Oh, wow. Actually,
Hey, where's the timer? I just realized he doesn't have a timer.
It's okay because it's going to be less than 3 minutes. I'm pivoting, I think. I'm going to pivot.
Whoa.
I'm going to pivot in real time. I love the tackles, but I think we can get a good one early in the second round. I still like Matthew Bergeron. I still like DeJuan Jones. There's a handful of names I'm still interested in. I like the edges, too. I think there's enough edges to go around for the second round. Isaiah Foskey, Will McDonald, BJ Ojolari. There's still a lot of names that I'm intrigued by. But we're kind of thinning out at a position that I kind of feel like pulling trigger on right now because I want that top-end talent. And I love Jawan Johnson. Don't get me wrong. I say that all the time.
I know where this is going.
But it's actually Brian who put the idea in my head that a tight end 2 or maybe making Jawan your tight end 2 and adding a sneaky weapon for Derek Carr is actually maybe not a bad idea. And I'm looking at Darnell Washington.
Yes. Wow. That's what I was hoping you were going to say.
Yeah, I just like the prospect so much. And I just don't think it hurts whatsoever to buff out your weapon room when you have a new quarterback on a new team, and all you need to do is make sure, is Derek Carr the guy? Isolate the variable. And then next year, you know, if Carr crashes and burns, boom, you draft a quarterback. That's totally fine. You got some first round picks from the Sean Payton trade. You know, you haven't really mortgaged your future in a trading sense. Your cap situation is hell. So, you know, go out and get a surefire weapon, a yak guy, all that fun stuff. Darnell Washington, lock it in.
As the owner of a team at 31 who needs a wide receiver, I was worried you were going to choose the wide receiver that I may or may not be taking at 31. But I am now on the clock with not the Cowboys. Boop, boop, doop. Boop. Okay. So this is the team I wanted to trade up for because I wanted Brian Branch for the Eagles, and I texted Kevin instead of Jimmy.
Devastating.
A rather un-Howie move to erase my Howie move from earlier, trading back and still getting Bijan earlier in this draft. A lot of these picks are luxury picks. I said earlier with the Eagles that I would have taken Skoronski if he had fallen to 10. He did not. We've got Jason Kelsey, who's coming back for at least one more year, maybe only one more year. We got Lane Johnson. We signed on a massive extension, but also is going to be retiring soon. And Isaac Seamola is out the door to Pittsburgh. So we need to address offensive line. We know how much the Eagles like addressing both sides. I've got an offensive guard who's ranked 30th on the PFF draft board. I am drafting 30.
Ryan, wait, before you say the name. Sorry. Oh, I thought you were going to say the name. I was trying to get you at the buzzer. Just check your text before you say the name.
Whoa. Did you texted the right person, right? Yep.
Me and Brian all day. Hopefully.
Everybody's forgetting to text mine.
It's a good thing I did not put in the pick because I am going to accept this.
Let's go.
Whoa. That's
Ladies and
crazy.
gentlemen.
That's a buzzer
Send it
beater,
over.
man.
Send it to the
I'll
moderator.
Send it to Anthony right now. Can we get some music, please?
Get the trade music.
How good is that of a trade for both teams?
That's beautiful.
Given what I've already acquired, you know what I mean? Like y'all will see.
It fills a nice need.
Oh, here we go. That's really why I made this trade.
He just
Just
wants
to
to
hear
hear
the
that
music
music one more time.
Just one more time. Let our DJ Anthony Wainer smooth your senses.
I'm much more excited about this trade than I was about the pick I was going to make there.
Well, and
always
you
a
know
good
what,
sign.
man? When you see who I pick, you guys will understand why I did it. I mean, I spoiled it earlier in the draft, but you guys will see. We need to do graphics for each team that says what they came away with from this draft. We need to see like picks and all that trade, future capital.
There has been a trade. The Buffalo Bills trade Ed Oliver in the 2024 fifth round for the 2023 30th overall pick for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ed Oliver coming to Philly.
I love Ed Oliver, and I will miss you dearly, but we just drafted Brian Brzee. We're going to extend Daquan Jones. I got
Javon Hargrave out the door to San Francisco. Jordan Davis coming into his second year. Now I get a nice veteran who's still young in Ed Oliver.
Yep.
I've still got Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick on the edge. I retained Slay and Bradbury.
Yep.
I would have loved Brian Branch, but I got Terrell Edmonds and Reed Blankenship going into his second year. Man, Eagles are gearing up for another run. I got Bijan in the offense.
Yep. I just think this really opens up the door for this trade. Really opens up the door for Brian Brzee to come right in and be that defensive stalwart that we want him to be. Next to Daquan Jones, he's got Von Miller on one side. He's got Greg Rousseau on the other side. I feel great about the defensive line. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I love Ed Oliver. But now I can go out and get my Tremaine Edmonds replacement. And I don't have to wait until the second round. There's going to be 24 hours between pick 31 and pick 32. And I don't want to sweat at all. So Jack Campbell, welcome to Buffalo. And thank you very much. DeAndre Hopkins, Brian Brzee, Jack Campbell. And I'll take my Super Bowl ring, please. Size 8.
The best case scenario happened for you.
I told you, Jimmy, I needed it. And I don't love trading Oliver, but it clears up $11 million in cap space because he's on a 5th-year option deal. So this is the year you want to trade those guys.
Yeah. When
you can still, recoup some value from their contracts.
Well, we said the trade. It was was it the 30th for?
It was at 30th for
Ed Oliver
and
a 5th in 2024 for pick 30.
All right. So
I got Jack Campbell.
Price, but hopefully it works out.
Brian, would you have done Ed Oliver straight up? Just curious.
Probably.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, the world will never know.
But I didn't have to think about it. I would have at least given it some thought. That extra pick, I'm like, nope, done. So now I've picked up an extra pick next year, trading back, and I've picked up an extra pick and gotten a starter for the defensive interior. Howie's
he's eating.
Yep. All right, I'm just gonna put Campbell in here.
Last pick.
I already know who I'm taking. Draft player.
This was so fun.
Campbell.
Oh my word, my stress levels are finally coming down. This is how GMs feel after the draft. I can breathe.
All right,
crazy,
so
yeah, we went
Brett
ham.
Veach on the clock. Tackle's definitely a need here, right? Orlando Brown Jr. out the door. Juwan Taylor, fine, but we also lost Andrew Wiley. We've lost both of our tackles, and we've only got one. There's some good tackles, I think, in the second rounds that I can do. I've got Mahomes. He can work magic even with a lesser offensive line. I'm going to say Armand called it. We need pass catchers. I know they just won with basically Travis Kelce and no one else. Hey, Adrian in the chat.
Go.
What's going on, man?
Watching all the way from Australia. We'll have him on our Friday show, which we'll talk about at the end. That's going to be fun. So Adrian will be on for that. We got a special Friday show coming up during the second round. But yeah, let's not beat around the bush. Armand called it. Let's go ahead and put Zay Flowers with the Kansas City Chiefs. Juju's out the door. We've got Zay Flowers. Some people, from what I'm said, has him like as a top 15 pick, and some people actually have him above JSN. From what I'm hearing, I get him at pick 31. A great young pass catcher. Great loyal guy. I actually read today that he was recruited by other colleges because he was on a bad Boston College team and he refused all of them. He got NIL money offered. He said no. He wanted to stay with Boston College. That speaks to his character. He'll fit right in with Andy Reid. No-brainer pick. I'm glad. I was a little worried that you were going to take him in one of your earlier with the Saints. But then you started talking about Juwan Johnson. I'm like, okay, good.
He crossed my mind. I have to be honest. I really like Josh Downs. I thought that's where you were going to go with this pick, Brian. And I'm super cool with Zay Flowers over Downs. I remember in the last draft you had Downs 25th.
This was a predictive thing. I really love Josh Downs personally. Yeah. I think the Chiefs will probably pick Zay Flowers over Downs.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Well, this was unbelievable.
That's it. We did it. 2.0. In the books. One more time.
Right out, baby.
Well done.
We just wanted to leave you with some good vibes as you course throughout your week.
Look at this NPR wannabe guy. All right,
I love this.
We're gonna put the draft. The draft is the background here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this was our last show before the draft. The first round is this Thursday. What we're going to do for Friday's show, I may or may not do some sort of TikTok live after the first round, like a reaction thing. I don't know, to be determined. Cool. However, for Friday's show, which will be at the normal time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. If Adrian is still in the chat, he will be in there with us. We're going to do first round grades while watching the second and third round live because it starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Jimmy, if you want to pop in, we'll have all 4 of us. I'm putting the open invitation out there. Okay. 7 Eastern Friday. We're going to grade the first round and then react to the second and third round live. What do you guys think?
Love that. Sounds like a fantastic idea.
Remind me Friday, and I should be able to join, I think.
We'll have everybody. We got Jimmy, we got Adrian, Anthony producing.
Gotta meet Adrian. It's the Legit Football All-Star edition.
That's right, exactly.
That's right.
What better edition than right after the first round of the 2023 draft that we've been covering this entire month and beyond. It just seems like a no-brainer. I'm sure Armand will be in the chat and everyone else who's here. So yeah, that's it. The next time you hear from us, we will be able to reflect on the 31 picks that happened the day before. We will be able to react to the second and third round picks live as they happen this Friday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Jimmy. Anthony, what a great... Can we get a round of applause for Anthony?
Show, Anthony.
Good job, Anthony.
Just top to bottom.
He had his
announcing
coffee
the trades. He did. He chugged like a used Keurig cup afterwards. It was very strange, but apparently it worked.
Legend for that.
But yes, this was our mock draft. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did it a second time, Kevin. I'm glad we did it with trades. We pulled it off. Thank you to everyone in the chat. If you're here for the first time, please like, subscribe, come back for our show on Friday. We're only going to get better. We're only going to make this show more fun. Give us suggestions. We are trying to make every show better than the last. We will definitely release this mock on social. We'll put a graphic out there just so at least to have exactly how this went down. And any last words, guys?
How many picks do you think we're going to get right? What do you think like the benchmark is for like a decent
under 3?
Yeah, 3.
With the trades, it makes it crazier. Yeah, the trades make it crazier.
Like teams picking the same
team matches.
Person. Yeah, team matches because team pick match. I mean,
okay, we'll say 4. We'll give Bryce Young. Okay, fine. 3 other than Bryce Young.
We'll do 4.
If we get 4 team matches
at 4.5.
Over under at 4.5.
Good. Okay.
This mock
I like that.
Is accurate to team matches on Thursday.
I would bet the over. And I bet Armand, 3 trades minimum happen on day
31 for 31. Why not?
2.5 is the line for trades for me.
Why not?
Guys, thank you as always. We will have a supersized show, it sounds like, on Friday. Can't wait to do that. Thanks again for everybody watching and listening. I'm Brian McFadden. On behalf of everybody, this has been the Legit Football NFL Podcast. Enjoy the draft, and we'll see you on Friday.